For some months now, I've been working on this cutaway spaceship model. I made one room at a time and glued them together as I've progressed, and that has resulted in it not being totally straight. I have a vague idea of the overall outline of the ship, but it might change, so I think it's smart to just follow a general shape for now and deal with the rest when I get there. I choose this extremely easy to cut board as a stabilization layer at the bottom. Considering I had to make a million cuts to get through it, there is no way I'm going to do that again on anything but a straight line. And this magic trick was me actually using my table saw. After giving myself some guidelines, I add a liberal amount of superglue and stick the whole ship to the board. Once that has had time to set, like 4 seconds later, it's time to make the ceiling and roof, and add some atmospheric lights to really bring it to life. The rooms are quite detailed, so the ceilings need some details as well. The first detail I want to add is a caged warning lamp in the engine room. I'm using styrene and plastic cement to make the cage around this LED from a tea light. I then drill a hole in the ceiling of the engine room to fit the wires through and glue the lamp in place. The rooms need more lights though. I measured the distance from the cutaway to the middle of the door and equal lengths between the lights. Then drill holes for each lamp. I need 8 identical ceiling lamps, so I 3D modeled and printed some that I think will fit the ship. I sand the bottom to make them flush with the ceiling and glue them in place. The ceilings still look very plain though, so that's a great opportunity for me to try a new crafting tool. This panel line scriber thing. It's obvious, like with everything else, it's just a matter of practice. I want the lines to be a bit softer, so I sand the high spots and use plastic glue to slightly melt the edges. Once the lamps are installed in all the room ceilings, I prepare them with a layer of primer. This is one of the painting techniques that has really helped this spaceship look the way it does, I think. With a little less thinner, I add more paint to the panel lines, just to add some detail to an otherwise flat and boring surface. After drying, I think they're looking pretty good. The warning lamp is a bit different from the rest of the ceiling lamps. The glass needs to be red and the cage needs to be grey. But it gets the same dirty wash to make it fit in. I feel the panel lines need even more depth, so I add an acrylic wash to all the panels. The engine room is more dirty and yellow compared with the rest of the ship, so I need to match that with a watered down yellow top coat. Black isn't the only trick to give dimension. I paint on a highlight layer on the raised areas and even a little on the flat areas as well. I really don't want any light spilling, so I add silver tape under and over the LEDs on the light chain I'm using to bring this thing to life. Now, this is something I'm especially pleased with in this project: UV resin to make the ceiling lamp glass domes. Some bubbles had to be teased out and popped with a needle before curing with the UV light, but I didn't have any other issues. If you've seen the other episodes in this series, you know I've added computer screens, a kitchen fan and other lamps throughout the ship. I planned the amount of lights around the line chain, so I managed to use just the one. Once all the lights are installed, I'm going to make the area between the ceiling and the outer shell of the ship, starting with the ventilation system. This empty printer cartridge looks kind of sci-fi and will function as the ship's ventilation unit. Due to the wires from the light chain, I don't have quite as much surface area, but I'm using a lot of super glue and baking soda, and that works. This is the only time you'll be able to clearly see what's glued on top of this thing, so keep in mind that most of it will be hidden or barely visible once the shell is attached. The ventilation is the only part of this that makes any kind of sense. Made from styrene tubes and printed boxes positioned on top of each door, where the air intakes are. The rest is just detailed filler. It looks like a mess, so I'm looking forward to priming it, just to get a sense of what it actually looks like. After masking off the rooms, I start priming with my airbrush. But this step isn't very precision dependent, so I'm using a Replicant primer to speed up the process. The highlight is added with my airbrush though, sprayed mostly from the side. Even though it's not as important as the rest of this thing, I still want it to look like it's painted the same way, not just sprayed. There's something about a hand being involved in the process that makes it look more authentic. Maybe I'm just rambling. What's your opinion on this? Anyway, after giving it some variation in color, but not so much that it takes attention away from the rooms below, I paint on a dirty brown acrylic wash. This makes it look pretty dusty and untouched. And like with the ceiling, I'm adding highlights to the roof area using the dry brush technique. I don't have as much control with the application, but there's so much going on and most of it will be hidden anyway, so this is the best method, I think. Areas that aren't going to be very visible are great places to experiment. I haven't used this enamel wash for interiors by AK before, so I'm going to try it out. I have a base layer, dust layer, highlight layer, and now a dirty dark wash layer to bring it all together. And with that, it's done. The lights and the now closed rooms give the ship a very different feel, I think. It's more intimate, cozy, and maybe even a bit claustrophobic. There's still a lot more to build, but this was a rewarding and important step. If you want to see the full cutaway spaceship come together, watch this next. Until next time, goodbye.